Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how I like to contour and highlight my face. I have a kind of more rounder face, so the way I do it is going to be different from the way other people will do it, but I'm going to give you tips on how I do it for my face shape, as well as for a deeper skin tone, because I do have kind of a deeper skin tone. And I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Shade+Light Contour Palette. Looks like this. All my contour shades are going to come from this, and let's just get started. So I like to contour and then highlight. I feel like if you highlight and then contour over it, you kind of muddy up your highlight and you smear it around, so I don't do that. I do my contour off first, blend it out, then go back in and do my highlight. The first part of my face that I like to contour is my cheekbones, and if you can't find your cheekbones, you can either just run along your face and find the outline where there's like an empty space, or you can make the fishy face, and your cheekbones are right here. You can basically feel it when you make that face, and you can see it. So the first shade I'm going to go into, which I do my cheekbones with, is this deeper shade right here. It's called Subconscious. Subconscious? Yeah, Subconscious. So I'm going to take that on my Real Techniques foundation brush. I like to use this brush because it's got more of an angle to the end of it. So that's going to help you get right in those cheekbones where you need to stick this product on your face. So I'm just going to take some of that product, and I'm going to go from my ear about to the end of my eye. I don't want to take it any farther in than that because you just don't, okay? Just trust me on that. So I'm just going to take that in that spot where my cheekbone is, and it's right above my ear, basically where my hairline is right here. I'm going to go in where that is. I do that first stroke lightly, and then I go on the other side and do the same, so that way I'm not putting this dark, intense contour, and then the other side's not even. So again, I'm just going to find that line. And then I'm going to check that they're both even. Those look about even to me, so I'm going to go ahead and deepen them up a little bit. Just going to add a little bit more product. And then I'm going to go in with my Expert Face Brush by Real Techniques. It looks like this. And I'm going to use this to buff out that contour. You always want to blend upwards because you don't want to go down and make it look like you have this giant hollow sunken in cheek. Unless that's what you're going for. If you're doing like a Halloween contour, maybe I could see that, but I don't want to do that. I don't even think I've got so much cheek. I don't even think it's possible to make it look like I don't, so there's no way. So I'm just blending that upwards, buffing upwards. I'm just basically, well, buffing upwards. I'm going to go and do that on the other side. You don't want to not blend enough, but you don't want to blend too much. You want to blend enough to where you don't just look like you've got this line drawn on your face with a Sharpie, but you also don't want to blend it all the way out to where you can't even tell you contoured at all, because that's the goal, is to put a shadow there that looks natural and looks like you've got that line to your face. So I feel like this one needs a little more blending. The next spot that I like to contour is on my temples. So I'm going to move us up. I'm going to go in with a lighter shade for this because I already kind of have more of a shadow right there, and I don't want to make it look too intense. So I'm going to go in with this middle shade. It's called Shadow Play. I'm going to take that on that same Real Techniques foundation brush, and I'm just going to go and basically just make a line, like almost diagonal but not quite, following where my temple is. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to take this off so I can actually do this. And then I also do up here on top, because I kind of have a large forehead. I'm bringing that down a bit too. And then I'm just going to blend it down a little bit and blend it back a little, because as you can see, my hairline, you can tell that it's lighter up here because of my foundation and because of how much I've tanned over the summer. So I'm going to blend that back a little bit into that to where you can't really tell that I'm wearing all this makeup. And then also to contour for a slimmer face, I like to contour right here on the sides. And with that, I'm going to use that same middle shade. I don't want it to be too dark. So I'm just going to go along the side of my hairline. I'm just blending that in. And I'm meeting that up with this line that we already made earlier. This side, I'm going to do the same thing. Last but not least, I contour along the bottom of my face on my jawline. So this is really helpful for getting rid of a double chin. And like if you have a less prominent chin, you probably don't want to do that. But I've got the double chin thing going on, so I like to do it. So I'm going to go in with that darkest shade again. Not a lot because I don't want it to be super intense, but just a little bit. I'm just going to follow underneath my ear along my natural line. I'm doing that on both sides. And under the chin, like I said, to get rid of that double chin appearance. Then I'm going to go in with the other brush again and just buff that out. I am buffing this downward because I want it to blend into my neck. You don't want it to just look like you have this line right there. All of it's about not looking like you don't have just one line. Like the whole contouring thing with as far as blending goes is that you don't want to look like you're just drawing lines all over your freaking face. It's not a good look. So I'm done with the contouring part. Next I'm going to highlight. For my highlighter lately I've been using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. It's this little powder one. It's the shade Rose N202. And the shade that I like to use a lot, and I've been using it all over for just every freaking highlight ever, is this one right here. It's the rosy, it's like the middle between like a rosy color and between like a yellowy color. And I'm going to clean off that brush that I was using for buffing, and I'm going to use that for the highlight. And I put my hair doodad back on because I love it. So I've cleaned off that Expert Face brush, and I'm going to dip that into the foundation, into the highlight. To get it into this tiny little spot in the pan and not use up the other colors, I'm going to smush the bristles together to make it into a thinner brush, and then I'm just going to take that into that color. First place I'm going to highlight is right above that contour on my cheeks. So I'm just going to lightly just flick that, like a flick of the wrist, and I'm smiling a little bit because you want to get on the apples of your cheeks, just like whenever you apply blush. I'm putting that kind of at an angle, but no farther than where my eyebrow ends, because if you highlight farther than that, it's going to make your face look wider. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to take a little bit on the Cupid's bow right here, and underneath where my lips are. And a little bit on just right here in the middle of the forehead, right above my eyebrows. Don't want to take it too far up because that's why we contour downwards, because I have a big forehead. The farther you highlight, the farther you are exaggerating that part of the face. So if you have something that you're trying to conceal, like I said, I have a bigger forehead, you're not going to want to highlight that as much. Although I have huge cheeks and I'm highlighting the shit out of those, but whatever. And then I'm just going to take ever so lightly a little bit of this down the bridge of my nose. I don't contour my nose, but I do highlight my nose. I feel like it's kind of small already to begin with, but I like to highlight it just because. I'm just going to blend that a little bit with my finger. Meet it up with that forehead highlight. Put just a little bit above the eyebrows. So here is so here's the finished look. You can't really tell much of a difference, but that's because we don't want it to be super intense. It's just a subtle, kind of everyday contour and highlight look. If you were going for something more intense, you wouldn't blend it out as much, like I said. You would use darker shades and super pigmented highlighting shades. The face shape that you have is going to change how you like to highlight and contour, but this is just how I do it for my face. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment what I should do next. Have a good day.